Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SI Talk und bei mir neue Company, wieder neue Company, neues Glück. Blockchain, großes Thema und ich habe Ihnen ja letztes Mal gesagt, dass ich eine Company vor ein paar Wochen getroffen habe, die mir wirklich extrem gut gefallen hat. Und ich habe versucht, jetzt wieder ein Meeting zu machen und es war super, dass der Lance Zeit gehabt hat, der CEO und Co-Founder von der Firma, die jetzt momentan noch unter dem Namen Arcana notiert, die dann also RTO machen, wie es so schön heißt auf Neudeutsch, und wahrscheinlich in ein paar Wochen handeln werden. Was die Company genau macht, wird er uns selber jetzt einfach einmal vorstellen. Lance, thank you to have time. And I say this in my German introduction, that we met us the first time a few weeks ago, and in my regular newsletter or issue, I spoke a little bit about the company, and I said this is really the first blockchain company that makes really sense for me. There are a lot of hype outside.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the really blockchain, what's really mean. But you have really a product. You have also clients, and it makes much more difficult to the other ones that outside. And you are not listed so far. You are holded. You're coming through RTO from the Arcana.
That's correct.
Arcana Capital, I think.
That's correct. Arcana Capital Corp. Yep.
And in a few weeks, we don't know exactly when you start, hopefully, to trade.
That's correct.
So, first question is what you're doing. Why I was so exciting about you?
Sure. I guess we should go back to basics. So blockchain's first use case would be cryptocurrencies, and we saw that is a big data problem growing every 10 minutes, and that we essentially want to become the Google to that environment. We are providing law enforcement the ability to trace, track, and monitor transactions, regulators to understand also the flow of money, and then the financial world to be able to have a product that can be providing anti-money laundering at the gateway, OFAC, and know your client information. So we're still developing the next two components, but the hardest part was first being able to index the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. We are blockchain agnostic, so we're looking to incorporate Ethereum next, and then Litecoin. And I think the way that we can compare this to the mining world is we're selling the picks and the shovels. We're a part of monitoring all the transactions, and when we put out an announcement stating that we were looking for beta users for our search and analytics engine in this space, the majority of respondents were law enforcement. This was over a year ago. So we've started with their needs, and we've tried to develop a full suite of tools. But at the end of the day, the feedback that we're getting is excellent, and I think that there are a lot of companies out there talking about what the potential of blockchain is and where it's headed, but it's really hard to implement it today. A good analogy would be Facebook couldn't have existed without email. And so we're right now sort of the email in the sense of the internet. And this is definitely what we recognize to be a secure protocol layered on top of the TCP/IP stack. It's here to stay, and we're looking to grow with the growth of the network. And I think that's why you got so excited.
Yeah, that was my better understanding, to get a better understanding about the blockchain, that this is a new protocol like TCP/IP, what we use now in the internet, is in a portion of it for sure blockchain, and maybe in 10 years it's normal, is a standard protocol. For sure it will be a standard protocol, and nobody talk about too much about this, then is its knowledge.
Correct. Yeah, and I think people are still fascinated how perceived value can translate today to being $50 to $800 US a Bitcoin, and not being backed by an institution or a government. but how we look at it is the computational power behind it. And although there's Ethereum and there's others that are public, the Bitcoin ecosystem is one that is vast computational power. Not to get into numbers in any sense, but let's look at all of Google's computing power. And if you were to assess all of that, you'd be looking at about 0.01% compared to the Bitcoin ecosystem and the hardware that's there helping facilitate transactions. And so this is what's so fascinating, and what should really make people aware that this new protocol is not going away. Other things are going to be hung off of it, luminal network, smart contracts, and they will use that horsepower to show data integrity within their own blockchain, however they may use it. And so it's very exciting to be at the precipice of all of this.
You told me last time you have one really well-known client for this tracking, all this monitoring of the blockchain.
Correct.
And it's really that you can track every Bitcoin or fraction of a Bitcoin was going on, and monitoring all the people, not the people behind. Then you don't know where the people are.
Right.
But you can understand what he's doing with those things, and so you get a better understanding of this person that's behind of this blockchain.
That's a good way to put it. I mean, at the end of the day, what's unique about this is that it is a public ledger. Anyone can look into that. Yeah. Anyone can create 10 wallets within 10 minutes. But we use narrowband artificial intelligence, clustering and heuristics to show wallet associations. And we also show, in the traditional world, I can't tell you where the dollar in your wallet was before you, but in the Bitcoin ecosystem and in the cryptocurrency space, yes, I can show you who's held that previously. Now, the identity behind that is still pseudo-anonymous, but what we do look for is threads to the outside, and we look for potential exchange points and where people might convert money to fiat, and then from there, law enforcement can use their powers that be to try to figure out more about that individual.
So this part of the business, for which kind of groups or for which clients is this interesting?
Well, right now, Homeland Security is a client of ours, and we're in discussions with a number of different agencies around the world. We are implementing our next round of features very shortly, so we haven't done a lot of pushing further on our network. We have a pretty good indication as to where we sit in the landscape. There's not many players. There's less than 10 in the world, and there's really only 2 others. And they're great companies, but we've looked at things a little differently, and so we believe that we will be one of these rising stars. And we, outside of that, then we can look at the financial world, the banking industry, exchanges. All would require the same level of tools, and even regulators that are monitoring exchanges and to make sure that the exchanges are meeting the regulatory requirements that are imposed on them. And our tools can help those kinds of organizations keep an eye on the ones that they've given licenses to see if they're adhering to the regulatory laws.
Last time I spoke, one friend of mine was with me, and he come out of the banking industry, and you show us a tool they monitor people, so that you can track it is not the right one, so you can show him a risk profile of this person.
Yes.
So, and this is going more important in the future. In Europe, we don't know this. In North America, you have your credit score.
Right.
In Europe, we don't have this
common sort of mechanism.
But for sure, we know everybody is rated but in the bank, but not so like in North America. But in Europe, it's will coming up with this the scoring model, and so this is also a coming part of your business.
Yeah, we took all of the heavy lifting that our one product does and summed it up into a simple to understand interface where a bank teller could understand if the transaction is safe for that bank to accept or not. But the other side of it is for consumers, because consumers now are their own banks. And they need a level of confidence about who they're interacting with. At the end of the day, if I'm buying a product for $1,000, $5,000, and all I know about that person is their wallet address, I want to get a bit of an indication of how we might assess that. And so an individual can enter in a wallet. We've assigned a risk score to every single wallet, and we look at a number of factors that help drive an overall score. And so if a score was below 30, you're probably at risk of not receiving what you're hoping to buy.
Oh, very good point. I don't see this before. Interesting thing. Coming to the listing. So you're not listed at the moment, you hold it. But what you can tell me about the share structure? How many shares are outside
So
after the listing?
Yeah, after the listing, we are at 74 million. We'll have closed on $3.5 million, and fully diluted, we're at 90 million shares.
Okay, so and then you have 3 million or 3.5 million in the bank.
Yes.
So how long you can live out of the 3.5 million?
Yeah, well, I'm a very good steward of capital. I'm a serial entrepreneur and had a number of larger companies. The biggest I grew was to 120 people. I can make that last a year, but I think that we will be doing a raise very shortly after. At higher levels, and so we'll let the market kind of dictate what that timeline looks like, and that would determine some other things that we have in store, some acquisitions that are synergistic with our overall platform, that bring in other channels. But right now, if that was all that we did, that'd be 1 year of operating capital.
So you plan some acquisition and so on. So and maybe after, when the share price hopefully is higher, a new acquisition,
Another raise.
Yeah,
that's correct. Yes.
From the client side, what we can expect that can we expect new clients shortly, or so? What's
We've got a number of people right now using our financial product that are implementing it and integrating it within their services. So I think we're going to see a number of announcements along those, depending upon their integration timelines.
Yeah.
I haven't seen inside their things, but I know we've got a number of them underway. And on our forensic product, we will be putting a pretty hard push in the new year. We've got some other features that we just want to conclude before we really hit the ground running. But the feedback's been excellent so far, and all signs are very positive that we're in the right place at the right time with the right vision as to what we want to deliver.
Sounds interesting. So Lance, thank you for this first introduction to your company. Ja, das war die erste Einführung in dieses Unternehmen. Vielleicht verstehen Sie jetzt ein bisschen besser, warum ich eigentlich relativ begeistert war von dieser Firma. Sie haben mehrere Produkte. Erstens einmal ist dieses Tracking-Tool, also Sie können jede Currency oder jede Bewegung, die eigentlich auf der Bitcoin passiert worden ist, nachvollziehen, und das ist natürlich gerade für diese ganzen Agencies, Homeland Security ist ja einer ihrer Kunden, so interessant, weil sie genau sagen können, okay, wo war das Geld, wohin ist es gegangen, was hat er damit gemacht, und damit kann man Rückschlüsse machen auf die einzelne Person. Das heißt, man weiß ja, wo war er, wann, wo, wie, in welcher Umgebung lebt er, das ist er mit der IP mitgeträgt, und das macht es eigentlich so spannend, und das ist auch das Interessante für die ganzen Agencies. Zweiter Teil ist natürlich für die Banken, dass sie natürlich mittracken können. Also die Banken sind ja mit den ganzen neuen Regularien, müssen sie ja Geldwäsche, und wie so es bei uns heißt, müssen sie ja sicherstellen, dass das Geld ja aus sicheren Quellen kommt. Und deswegen haben sie auch so ein Scoring-Modell gemacht, wo der Kunde die Transaktion und so weiter, beziehungsweise auch die einzelne Wallet, also wo diese ganzen Currency auch hinterlegt sind, mittracken können. Das ist natürlich nicht nur auf Bitcoin beschränkt, das kann man auf sehr viele andere Sachen auch ausrollen. Und das dritte Sache, das habe ich eigentlich bis jetzt noch gar nicht so gedacht, aber das ist auch möglich für Privatpersonen. Das heißt, wenn Sie jetzt privat irgendwelche Sachen kaufen, verkaufen übers Internet und Sie wissen ja über den Verkäufer oder über den Käufer ja nicht wirklich was Bescheid. Wenn Sie so kaufen, dann passt es, wenn Sie was verkaufen, passt es ja, weil dann schicken Sie das Produkt nicht rüber, bevor nicht das Geld auf Ihrem Konto ist. Aber bei einem Verkauf, also wenn Sie was kaufen wollen, haben Sie das Problem, weil Sie nicht wissen, ob Sie das Produkt bekommen. Und auch hier kann man dann sozusagen dieses Scoring-Modell haben und wie er sagt, wenn das um die 30 liegt oder unter 30 ist die Wahrscheinlichkeit recht hoch, dass Sie Ihr Produkt nie sehen werden. Und das sichert Ihnen natürlich auch oder bietet Ihnen mehr Vertrauen in Ihr Gegenüber und das könnte extrem spannend sein. Sie sehen also schon, das ist ein ganz anderes Thema, was auch Blockchain ist und das ist genau das Interessante, was eigentlich Blockchain wirklich macht. Nicht diese ganze Beteiligung an irgendeinem Miner hier und da und gehebelt mit dem Faktor 10, das wird nicht wirklich das Gelbe vom Ei sein in der Zukunft, was Blockchain betrifft. Das sind richtige Anwendungen und deswegen hat es mir auch so gut gefallen. Ich bin gespannt, wenn die Aktie dann notiert, fully diluted ist, ungefähr dann noch bei 90 Millionen Aktien. In den nächsten Wochen können wir damit rechnen, dass die Aktie dann gelistet wird. Sie haben 3,5 Millionen geraced, wollen rauf. Wenn dann die Aktie natürlich nach oben steigt, wollen sie natürlich im Markt noch mehr Placement machen, damit sie auch Geld haben für weitere Akquisitionen und so weiter. Also spannende Dinge von dieser Company werden wir sicher noch mehr hören. Und ich bin echt gespannt, wo die Aktie in ein paar Monaten steht. Das war's. Von your new name, you changed then the name to Blockchain Intelligence Group? Or?
Yeah, the parent company, the listed company will be Big Blockchain Intelligence Group.
Big Blockchain Intelligence Group. Okay, so wird es in Zukunft
But
lassen.
our marketing name is Blockchain Intelligence Group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But big is only the short version.
The abbreviation of it all.
Ja, schauen Sie sich die Aktie an und das war es aus Vancouver, Oktober 2017. Thank you.
Thank you so much.